We all know what Netflix and chill means. But back in the dusty old days of 2007, it wasn't as commonplace, primarily because Netflix had just started streaming. Kevin Roose, over at Fusion, actually went so far as to track down the origin of the phrase. Colloquially, it started as a thing you'd say in casual conversation. You know, oh yeah, I'm just going home, no big plans tonight, just gonna watch Netflix and chill. That didn't last long thanks to the internet being the internet. Initially, the term started being used as a euphemism by Black Twitter, so much so that it began to be picked up by people offline. The first recorded use of the phrase was by Twitter user NoFacina, who tweeted in 2009, "I'm about to log on to Netflix and chill for the rest of the night." No TV show gets on the air the same way. It's a Herculean task that takes a virtual army of craftspeople and artists. Two of the main contributing factors that play into a show making it to the screen are the creator and the star. This is a fact that Netflix was keenly aware of. So much so that they orchestrated their flagship show, House of Cards, with an algorithm. They looked at the data for their streaming service and saw that David Fincher's movies had a very high completion rate. People actually finished watching them. They also saw that a large percentage of people who watched Fincher's work frequently watched films starring Kevin Spacey. We all know what happened from there. Netflix started as a mail-order DVD subscription service, and there was a period in the early 2000s where they were in rough water. During this time period, they offered to sell themselves to Blockbuster. When asked about it, Netflix's CEO Reed Hastings said, "We offered to sell 49% stake and take the name Blockbuster.com. We'd be their online service." However, Blockbuster wasn't interested. They turned Netflix down, and then within the next 10 years, they were gone, and Netflix was crowned king of the world. The tides change quick around here. Better watch out. We all love binge watching. Waiting for week-to-week episodes sucks, right? Well, it turns out that binge watching might not be the most healthy habit for you. A study done in 2015 at the University of Texas showed that binging is more likely to make you depressed. It revealed that watching a show for multiple hours on end highlights the individual's lack of self-control, which can lead to increased feelings of loneliness and unhappiness. Yoon-hee Sung, a doctoral student at the university, said, "Our findings in our research show that those who feel more depressed tend to watch more programs. Logically, this creates a downward spiral. So, next time you're not feeling so hot and you're stuck watching endless episodes of New Girl, maybe give it a break. Please?" It's definitely important to figure the quirks out before you jump headfirst into something, right? Well, this is definitely a methodology that Netflix subscribes to. They produced an example show of what it would look like for them to produce their own content. The title of this proof of concept? Example Show. It features bizarre footage of a man dressed in all black juggling, running, and moonwalking? Yes, moonwalking. Obviously, this film wasn't intended to be viewed by the general public, but man, is it enjoyable as an absurdist piece of performance art. Here's hoping that Netflix produces Example Show as a real show. Everyone uses Netflix. They're a behemoth at this point. In fact, they account for 36.5% of traffic during peak hours in North America. You'd think it would be Amazon or maybe Hulu, right? Well, it's not. They account for less than 2% of peak traffic, according to a 2015 study. Kinda makes you wonder what they're doing burning all that money, doesn't it? Well, here's hoping that with Shudder, Disney Plus, and the new streaming project that Jeffrey Katzenberg is behind called Quibi, they can all carve out some space in the marketplace. Competition is a good thing, and right now, Netflix owns the world. Back in 2014, there was a bug that caused the one-sentence summaries of various programs and films to become merged. What resulted caused many users to burst out laughing. One summary read, "The Samurai Rangers get stuck in the Megazord's cockpit on Christmas Eve. Can the Rangers get out in time to assassinate Adolf Hitler?" Another read, "Legendary businessman and Apple co-founder Steve Jobs changed the way Americans live, think, and work before his extraterrestrial activity." Netflix has a notoriously fast-paced work environment. They understand that this might not be the right place for everyone, so they pay really well. A starting wage is usually $18 an hour. As an added bonus, you can take as many days off as you want and you get a free Netflix subscription. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, that's because the company works their employees really hard. But hey, you get what you pay for, right? As long as they're paying top dollar, they'll continue to get the best that anyone can offer. When Netflix first started, they couldn't quite land on a name. They kicked around numerous potentials, a short list of which included Replay.com, DirectPix.com, and Luna.com. Eventually, they filed papers of incorporation under the name Kibble.com. Why would they do that, you ask? Well, Kibble was the name of Netflix's founding CEO, Mark Randolph's dog. It was intended to remind everyone of the advertising slogan of yesteryear. No matter how good the advertising, it's not a success if the dogs don't eat the dog food. It had to happen sooner or later. Netflix is trying to figure out how to raise its prices. They're doing so by starting in Europe. The new pricing tier, referred to as Ultra, allows up to 4 screens access to HDR content for the price increase of $3.50. Netflix currently offers this service in the United States under their premium plan. It costs the user $13.99 a month for 4 screens. The question that Netflix is attempting to answer is, what exactly do their users value? Are they willing to pay extra for 4K and high dynamic range content? Only time will tell.